A cigarette lights up, and the character convinces us that he, in fact, was not in love. Saltburn is the tale of a heartbroken Oliver contemplating his love for Felix Catton. You're going to come at me for saying this in the comment section. Anyway, with an introductory montage of every perspective through which a person who's finding out the depth of their feelings, Saltburn sets the base for the true beginning of a realization of love. A freshly inducted Oliver begins his first days at Oxford welcomed by an empty dorm room from where he sees Felix for the first time. An awkward conversation gone bizarre during the first days of adjustment at the new institute sets the tone for how lonely the early days for Oliver at Oxford really are. A very studious Oliver finds himself awkwardly placed in this new environment where he is seen apologizing for almost everything, even for being a good student. The struggle he faces in arguing for substance instead of style is a subtle foreshadowing of how the character sees everything and therefore how he sees love. Something you can't be lazy for, something for which you have to work. In the initial meetings with Felix, Oliver finds himself going through the first stages of falling in love with someone whose world he did not belong to. He's seen admiring Felix from afar, helping him even when he doesn't know him. He's helped by him in return, and he even wakes up one morning with a smile, thinking about him. Eventually, Oliver gets nicknamed by Felix as Ollie. As they get to know each other, subtly Ollie's character changes. The changes visible to others come with a warning, and Ollie slowly sees himself becoming an observer of his own life. During this process, we get to see in turn how Oliver ends up manifesting those warnings into reality, or so it looks like. An essential element in the movie is distance. Throughout the film, Ollie observes Felix from an apparent distance, sometimes through a glass, other times through a window, or mostly from far away from within a crowd. Conversations between Felix and Oliver always take place in a space with a well-defined distance. The movie does an excellent job at portraying the challenges of being at the zenith of desire during one's hormonal years. Felix is gorgeous, charming, rich, and popular. He is surrounded by people who seek his attention and yearn to be with him. He barely is seen forming any close friendships or intimate relationships that go beyond physical acts. And yet, on the other hand, we see the established distance between Ollie and Felix provides a perspective into Felix and how he sees Ollie. The friendship they carry still goes on at a distance, even though they have already shared some of their deepest selves with each other, revealing family traditions and some of the most personal moments in confidence. A sequence where Felix takes Ollie to show his home is a somber sequence of different rooms painted in different palettes where Felix, the sole person Ollie would know in the gigantic mansion and rely on in a new place, leads him through and through. The beautiful score adds a gravity to how reliant Oliver would be on Felix during the rest of his stay in the new space and how he would follow him throughout. It is also a subtle reflection of the colors that Felix brings into Ollie's life. Another element of the movie is the depiction of a class divide. Its hinting in the movie is very subtle. It is depicted by showing how larger than life the surroundings for Oliver can feel sheerly by putting him at the center of them. But the most clever hinting of the divide that Oliver feels is through the dialogue. With very minute pauses, there is a moment where you get to see how much of an errand Ollie felt in this whole extravaganza. The movie shifts gears post a series of questionable events and puts Ollie in a spot through which one starts questioning if what Ollie feels for Felix is actually love, or attraction, or something sinister. One cannot stop but ask of the motives that Oliver carries as he is seen mysteriously eavesdropping and getting weirdly involved with Felix's family. During a dinner, Ollie is presented through the observations of others, here being Felix's sister Felicia, who warns him of how insignificant his importance is in Felix's life. As the strangeness of the movie keeps growing eerily, the distance that held the bond between the two boys intact depicts how much knowing someone requires a breaking of such distances. The ability to shed layers of the show that we put up in front of other people whose admiration, friendship, and love we seek. The very distance that kept them close showed how little they knew of each other and how sometimes knowing someone completely is not a prerequisite to falling in love. The movie in the final leg pushes one to think of how sometimes we love people we barely know, and only the process of knowing them do we realize how much we missed to see about them. In the end, one cannot stop but think if love is only as valuable as a mere stone thrown deep in a river. That's it for today. See you in the next one.